Welcome everyone, I'm Breakup Brad, and this video is for anyone hoping to get a second chance with an ex. Now, I'll be sharing 7 of the most common myths regarding no contact, which, as you'll already know if you've seen any of my past videos or really watched any other breakup advice videos here on YouTube, is one of the most effective strategies to reverse a breakup and get your ex to come back. But despite so many videos and articles recommending the no contact strategy, I still see people misunderstanding no contact on a daily basis. Many of my coaching clients and viewers like you often don't fully understand why no contact works to get your ex back, how to use it properly, or when you should really avoid it. So that's what we'll talk about in the next few minutes. And by the end of the video, you should have a full understanding of when and how to apply no contact to your particular situation, and you should be able to use it on your ex to ensure that they come back to you begging for another chance. Let's get started. First, just to clarify so we're all on the same page, no contact is just what it sounds like. A period of time where you ignore your ex, giving them plenty of time and space to start to miss you and really change their mind about breaking up. Some people call it radio silence. Some just say you should ignore your ex for a month. Whatever you want to call it, the fundamentals are the same. Don't reach out to your ex and only respond to them if you absolutely have to. Now, let's get into the first common mistake that people make about no contact. And that is myth number 1. Your ex will forget about you if you employ a period of no contact. I often see people suggest that no contact is dangerous because your ex might forget about you during the time apart. And, I actually understand this fear because it makes perfect sense at first glance. If you don't talk to your ex, then they might forget about you or lose interest in you, right? Are you essentially just giving them a chance to get over you if you ignore them for a month after breaking up? Well, to begin with, this argument really doesn't stand up to my real world experience. I've worked with tens of thousands of clients over the past 15 years, most of whom use no contact the way that I recommend. And I almost never come across a client or a situation where a period of radio silence leads to their ex forgetting about them or moving on. When it comes to more serious relationships, where you were with your ex for a year or more, I don't think I've ever seen this play out with one of my clients, ever. Even though it makes sense logically that ignoring your ex might allow them to forget about you, that's just not how it works in practice. And in fact, it's actually the opposite. Ignoring your ex, especially if you engage in no contact soon after the breakup, tends to make your ex think about you more than they would if you're talking to them regularly or seeing them regularly. You know that old saying, absence makes the heart grow fonder? Well, there is some real truth to that. By suddenly disappearing from your ex's life for a month, you force them to actually focus on your sudden absence. They wonder what you're up to, why you aren't reaching out, and they miss you. They can't help but think about you all the time because you suddenly went from being a huge part of their daily life to being completely gone. I mean, if I suddenly took away your pet cat or your cell phone or your car, things that you took for granted and used every day, well, you'd immediately miss them and you'd think about how they're suddenly gone. So really, no, you don't need to worry about your ex forgetting about you during your period of no contact. And that kind of thinking is just completely backwards because no contact is intended to do the opposite, to force your ex to focus on your absence and wish you were still around. That makes them want you back, and it adds a sense of urgency to the situation for your ex, along with forcing them to feel the full consequences of breaking up without any chance to wean themselves off you, so to speak. Now, if you're wondering what your chances are of ever getting your ex back, perhaps you've already employed no contact or you're considering it now, whatever the situation, you can take my free quiz and calculate your odds of getting back together. Just answer a handful of questions and you'll see a score out of 100 along with a detailed results report outlining where you currently stand with your ex and how likely it is that you'll be able to win them back. Take the quiz at breakupbrad.com/quiz after the video's over. Now, let's move on to another common criticism of no contact, which is myth number 2. No contact is a magic quick fix to get your ex back. Sadly, this is usually just not the case. Now, I've never claimed that no contact is a magic solution that will suddenly cause your ex to immediately run back to you begging for another chance. To be honest, it can be that simple and it can work like magic. In fact, I do see it often with my coaching clients. Sometimes just a few days of no contact is all it takes to get your ex to change their mind and beg you to take them back. But that's absolutely not what you should expect to happen when you employ no contact on your ex. It's not intended to, by itself, be the single solution to your breakup and the only thing that you need to do to get a second chance with your ex. And that's why my best-selling X Factor program is broken down into 3 phases, the 3R system, and why really only one module of the program is focused on no contact. It is a key component to a successful strategy to win back an ex, but it's not intended to be the magic cure on its own. You need to use it in combination with other strategies to really maximize your chances of success. And no contact myth number 3, you should tell your ex that you're going no contact. Some people feel the need to warn their ex in advance that they plan to employ a period of no contact. I don't know if it's because they feel that it's rude to just start ignoring their ex, or if they think that telling them will make no contact more effective. But either way, this is not true. And I would pretty much never recommend actually telling your ex that you plan to drop off the radar and stop reaching out for a while. Just go ahead and begin no contact without saying anything to your ex. Stop reaching out and stop responding to most of their, if not all of their calls and texts. Now, if you've already told your ex that you were going to start a period of no contact, don't worry about it too much. It probably won't hurt your chances too badly, but generally, it's not a good idea. And no contact myth number 4, you need to ignore all messages from your ex during no contact. Now, this one is really important. In my early days as a breakup coach, 12 or 13 years ago, I tended to believe in a very strict period of radio silence where you basically never reply to your ex or talk to them at all. But since then, I've adapted my thinking a bit, at least based on my experience with coaching clients and seeing many of your comments on my past YouTube videos. So here's my advice to you on this. You don't want to ignore every message from your ex. There are times and situations where you should respond to your ex during no contact. There's even a few instances where you might need to break no contact and actually reach out to your ex. First of all, it's important that you always reply to your ex if they're asking about something important and practical. So for example, if they're asking whether you've taken your shared cat to the vet, or if they need something of theirs that they left at your house and they're asking to come and pick it up, that kind of thing. Or in particular, if you have kids together with your ex, obviously, you need to continue talking with them about the kids to ensure that you continue to be good parents. Basically, if your ex needs something from you or needs to talk to you about something important, well, you should break no contact to deal with that issue. Just be friendly, to the point, and don't let your ex drag you into any bigger conversations or bait you into an argument. Just deal with whatever needs dealing with and then go back to no contact. And the second reason why you may need to reply to your ex is if they're getting upset or angry that you're not responding, or in order to avoid seeming downright rude. So if your ex has texted you, 2 or 3 times in the past few days and you've ignored them, well, there's a risk that they may get upset or even worried about you if you continue to stay silent. So in that situation, just reply with a friendly, "Hey, sorry for the slow reply. I've been super busy lately and I'm really focused on moving on. Let's catch up soon." Or just something along those lines to make it clear that you're not trying to be rude or hurtful. You're just busy and focused on yourself, which is why you haven't been responding. And lastly, there are, of course, situations where a full no contact period is impossible. Like when you work or go to school with your ex, still live together, share the same group of friends, etc. So if you find yourself in that kind of situation where some regular contact with your ex is unavoidable, please watch the full video that I made on this exact topic by clicking the pop-up link in the corner here or the link in the description below so that you know how to apply a modified no contact period that will be more suitable for your situation. All right, no contact myth number 5. The period of no contact is time wasted where you could have been actively working to reattract your ex. The theory here is that by not talking to your ex for a month or so, you're wasting that time where you could have been doing or saying things that would make your ex want you back. Essentially, that ignoring your ex is just time you've thrown out the window that when you could have been using it, productively to help get your ex to come back. Now, this is dead wrong for several reasons. First, as we already discussed, no contact taps into human psychology by shocking your ex into learning what life is like without you. When your ex suddenly loses you entirely, cold turkey, they're forced to experience the worst of the post-breakup emotions and heartache. They're forced to experience, the consequences of breaking up and what it's going to mean for their daily life. And they're also forced to learn and appreciate all the little things that you brought to their life and that you did for them when you were together. And secondly, no contact helps your ex forget about negative memories and let go of any logical reasons for breaking up. It's been proven many times by countless research studies that humans are biologically hardwired to forget about negative things and memories much more quickly than positive ones. And simply not showing your ex your flaws or the things that led to them wanting to break up will ensure that they let go of those memories and thoughts as quickly as possible. Now, science shows that this often peaks roughly around 30 days after a breakup. And third, you're not in a good emotional state after the breakup, especially initially. You're prone to emotional outbreaks, depression, lashing out in anger or revenge, and making mistakes you'll regret later. So by avoiding contact with your ex for a while, you allow yourself time to control those emotions and get into a better headspace where you'll be much less likely to make mistakes or succumb to emotions and do something that will push your ex further away. And finally, there really isn't anything that you could be doing during that time that will be more effective than no contact. It's the best way to make your ex miss you, appreciate what you brought to their life, and forget about the reasons they decided to break up. And besides, how can your ex miss you if you're still talking to them and seeing them all the time? All right, and now on to no contact myth number 6. No contact makes your heartache worse and makes it harder to get over your ex if they don't take you back. Now, to be fair, this isn't as common as most of the other things that we've already covered, but I have seen people claim this kind of thing from time to time, especially recently. Now, to be honest, it is true that in some cases, employing no contact can temporarily make you feel even more lonely and heartbroken than if you continue to talk to and see your ex regularly after the breakup. But the thing is, by keeping in contact with your ex, you're not actually preventing yourself from feeling the post-breakup emotions and heartache. You're just delaying it and dragging it on for even longer than it needs to be. And what about the idea that no contact makes it harder to get over your ex if things don't work out and you don't end up getting them back? Well, to put it bluntly, that is just completely false. In fact, it's completely backwards, because no contact actually has a secondary benefit of preparing you for life without your ex if for some reason you don't end up getting them back. Hopefully, this won't matter for most of you watching this video because you will end up succeeding in getting a second chance with your ex. But in some cases, that's just not possible for one reason or another. And in those situations, employing no contact will actually better prepare you for moving on and accepting a future without your ex. In fact, I advocate no contact for my clients who are done with their ex and simply focused on moving on as quickly as possible. And finally, myth number 7, you should always apply a 30-day period of no contact. So let's finish here with a simple one. There is no one-size-fits-all answer when it comes to how long you should go no contact for. It really depends a lot on how long you and your ex were together, how serious your relationship was, what caused the breakup, how much you've spoken to your ex recently, how long it's been since the initial breakup. There are a ton of factors that really influence how long your period of no contact should be. Now, for most situations, a safe default recommendation that's generally going to be fine for most breakups, 30 days is about right. Generally speaking, if you go no contact for around a month, you're going to get the benefits of no contact without having to worry about your ex moving on during that time. It's not going to be too short or too long for most situations. But if your breakup was more than a month or two ago and you haven't spoken to your ex since then, well, then you could probably reduce your period of no contact to 7 or 14 days or so. But on the other hand, if you've begged and pleaded your ex already, if you've been clingy and needy, reached out constantly and annoyed them since the breakup, then you might need to apply a 6-week period of no contact or even longer just to demonstrate to your ex that you can respect their boundaries and their desire for space. Now, if you'd like to know what the right length of no contact is for your specific situation, you can always sign up for my very affordable one-on-one coaching program at breakupbrad.com/coaching and tell me all the details about your ex and your breakup, and we'll come up with a solid plan and the right length of time for no contact to ensure that you maximize your chances. All right, let's wrap this one up here. I really do hope that you do leverage the power of no contact if you're trying to get your ex back. And I hope that this video has been helpful. Drop any quick questions in the comments below after you click like and subscribe, of course, because I always try my very best to read and respond to every single comment on every one of my videos. Thanks for watching. Good luck. Bye for now.